Okay, let's just check it's working. Start all streams like this. Yeah, it's the professional way to start streams from PlayStation. Uh, right, my channel. Let's see if it's running. Can I get the deja vu? Can I get the deja vu? Because then you know you're in the Matrix. Waiting for me, apparently. I don't know. I don't know quite what we're waiting for. We are waiting for me. Are we live now? Can I get that deja vu? Are we live now? Yep. Can I get that deja vu? Okay, great. You can hear me okay. Great. Welcome to Corporate Zombie channel. Sony. What are you doing, Sony? Sony have just announced Mark Cerny at Sony. Mark Sony, the Sony, Mark Sony at Cerny. Mark Cerny has announced. Has he announced? Yeah, has announced PlayStation VR 2. No, well, he did do that. Has announced the PS5 Pro. The PS5 Pro has been announced. Yeah. Few things about it then. Let's talk about it. Obviously, the elephant in the room that is charging at you with its tusk spared is the announced price, which is an eye-watering. Was it like £700? £700. Ow! So it's 300 more than the equivalent PlayStation PS5 with no disc drive, because it doesn't come with a disc drive either. You'd have to buy that separately, or a vertical stand, if you wanted to stand it up. You don't want it like horizontal. And they didn't show what it looks like horizontal. No one wants to look at it horizontal. No one wants to look at it lying down. So I thought I'd talk about it while I just randomly play this game, which is Space Docker VR, because I want to talk about the PlayStation 5 Pro, whether I'm thinking about getting it, whether I'm going to get it, do I think you should get it, what is it going to bring to the table, is it worth the tremendous amount of money that they want for it, for what it's going to give you, and am I going to buy it, even though, like, for channel purposes, or just because it'll make things look prettier. So, okay, let's talk about it. What does it bring to the table? Mark Cerny, and also we need to talk about the ancillary stuff that might be about to happen to PlayStation VR 2. This is all speculation, but it has some basis in what we saw accidentally leaked in the presentation, right? Not in the presentation from Mark Cerny, but in some other parts that have subsequently been altered and removed from the PlayStation blog, right? Regarding the latest update to the PlayStation 5 OS, right? Okay, so there was an image that was leaked. All right, I need to talk about this right now because I think it relates. There was an image. It's so exciting, right? Okay, for PlayStation VR 2 people, this is exciting, right? There was an image leaked following the OS update on the PlayStation 5, showing an icon for the battery life of the PlayStation VR 2 headset, right? A battery life icon for the VR headset. What does that mean? Does that mean that there's going to be a new version of PSVR 2 a wireless version of PSVR 2, right? Does that mean that that is coming? That has already been built into the could we be getting a Pro, a PSVR 2 Pro, or is there going to be some additional box that you're going to be able to buy and plug your PlayStation VR 2 into that makes it wireless? Right, okay, so you could go, oh, that was probably just a mistake. Because when you do mock-ups of user interfaces, you put things like the battery life of the headset on there accidentally, don't you? And then you accidentally release that in a blog post, don't you? And then have that immediately removed by your line manager when he realised what a mistake you've made. Maybe that's something that's only supposed to be internal Sony and it will never reach market. But who knows? Who knows? It could be that there is a wireless PSVR 2. Now that would be extremely exciting news, right? Right, but what makes me think that has anything to do with PlayStation 5 Pro? Okay. The tiny piece of information that no one seems to have picked up heavily on with the PlayStation 5 Pro. Everyone's like absolutely and correctly shocked by the price point, right? Being £800 with a disc drive, £700 without. Everyone's rightfully shocked by that. But what they haven't picked up on is the weird reason that it now supports Wi-Fi 7. Right? Okay, I can understand. You wanna support the latest Wi-Fi standard. No one has a Wi-Fi 7 router, as far as I know. Have you seen the price of them? If you think that PlayStation 5 Pro is expensive, you should look at the price of a Wi-Fi 7 router, because that is eye-watering. That's your £1,000 right there for a Wi-Fi 7 router. Nothing uses Wi-Fi 7, right? Nothing, as far as I know, uses Wi-Fi 7. So having Wi-Fi 7 on PlayStation 5 Pro seems really weird. I mean, I like having fast internet. I can understand that that's an important thing. I like having that work my games. But I use Ethernet, right? I have an Ethernet cable that runs all the way from my router to my PlayStation because I like to be able to download games quickly. Wi-Fi 7 seems like a really strange move. That seems far too future-proof for a mid-gen console. Unless you're using the onboard Wi-Fi 7 to connect to your PlayStation Portal and to connect to a wireless PSVR 2. Then Wi-Fi 7 suddenly makes sense, because if you're not thinking about the internet, you're not thinking about the connection to download your games. Maybe you're thinking that as well, but maybe you're thinking, I want to send uncompressed or marginally compressed video signals with that sort of point-to-point Ethernet through Wi-Fi 7. And maybe I'm going to do that. And maybe that is the reason why you want a PS5 Pro. Because of that Wi-Fi 7 and the potential for a wireless PSVR 2, which obviously doesn't affect this game because you're seated. But for most other games where you want to move around, then a wireless PSVR 2 could be good. But then, I mean, the thing about Wi-Fi 6 and stuff, that sort of point-to-point stuff, it's not going to be fast except in the same room. So it's not really going to free you up to move very far from your PlayStation 5 Pro or PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 6 in the future, no doubt. It's not going to let you, it's not going to free you up from moving very far from that. Oh gosh, far from that. But I wonder why. I do wonder why they put Wi-Fi 7 on the PlayStation 5 Pro. So the optimist in me is the realist in me is I don't need this. thing, right? I don't need the PlayStation VR. I don't need the PS5 Pro, because for one thing, they said nothing about PSVR 2 in the presentation. Mark Sony said nothing about PSVR 2 in the PlayStation 5 Pro presentation, and that's annoying to me because I'm like a PlayStation VR 2 fan. Most of the games I play on my PS5 are the VR games, so I'm like, oh, so maybe this thing doesn't have any use for me, right? It's not gonna improve my VR experience, right? So let's look at that then. What does the PS5 Pro bring to the table that could potentially improve your VR experience as well as like your gaming experience? I'm really screwing this up. Okay, so the GPU is improved, right? CPU, no, right? GPU is improved. 45% faster rendering on the GPU, up to 45% faster running on the GPU. Now that could be good, right? That is almost enough to get us from like 90 to 120 hertz, or from the reprojected 120 hertz mode, which is effectively running at 60 hertz, but then like they just showed a frame twice. The reprojected mode to a native 90 hertz mode, which would be more comfortable for a lot of people and a lot smoother in terms of input. So a 45% increase in GPU could potentially get you from a reprojected 120, which is effectively a 60 hertz mode, to a native 90 hertz mode. That would be great. That would be great. So they haven't said it's going to do that, but 45% faster GPU could almost, it's not 50% faster, which is what you would actually need, it's 45% faster, so it could almost get you there, right? So likewise, if you were going from like 30 frames per second to 60 frames per second, which is what Mark Cerny talked about, like going from the fidelity mode to the performance mode, i.e. without changing the graphical fidelity too much, increasing the frame rate by twice, 45% wouldn't get you there on its own, but they're obviously they've got their own proprietary PSSR AI upscaler hardware built in. So that is what is going to get you the rest of the way, right? So rather than putting double the GPU on there, which would have been nice, they've put 45% more GPU speed, but hopefully they're hoping that the super resolution that you'll get from this PSSR AI upscaler will get you the rest of the way there, towards twice the graphical power of PlayStation 5. So I don't know, and they've said that it won't improve all PlayStation VR 2 games at launch, and that they'll need additional software support for that, which is a shame, right? But they said that is coming. So again, it's one of those hand wavy. In the future, maybe it'll be good, but at launch, definitely it won't be, because they haven't done it, and that's why they haven't mentioned PSVR 2 at all in the presentation. No doubt, Mark Sony. Mark Sony didn't mention the PSVR 2 at all in the presentation, which is like, but okay, fine. So yeah, in the future then it could be better, but we won't know. Because the PSSR might work on all games. They're talking about even PS4 games without a patch being improved by the PSSR, because it would be able to effectively if the game renders normally at like 720p or 1080p, then it could do the upscaling to 4K, and using AI do a good job of that. And we've seen that work with FSR and DLSS on the NVIDIA graphics cards on PC. So we have seen that it is possible that this AI upscaling can work well. All right, and obviously Sony is betting on that. Mark Cerny at Sony. Mark Cerny is betting on that because he's only put in 45% more GPU speed and is relying on the PSSR to get you to nearly twice the power. So yeah, so PlayStation 5 Pro. Could work really well for flat games. Doesn't offer anything out of the box for PSVR 2, which sucks for me, and does not make me want to buy it day one. But that leak image of the battery life for the PlayStation VR 2 is exciting, and the fact that no one seems to care about or mention the addition of Wi-Fi 7 also is potentially linking to that leaked image exciting, right? It could potentially mean that we are about to see a PlayStation VR 2 version 2 or a PlayStation VR 2 wireless adapter or something of that nature. So that would be something for Christmas, wouldn't it? I always say I don't think we're getting that for Christmas, to be honest. And I don't know if I'm getting a PS5 Pro for Christmas either, because it's hard to justify. And then let's talk about that elephant that's charging towards us from the corner of the room, the price of the PS5 Pro, which is, like I say, it seems eye-watering, right? Obviously, there's a couple of things we should talk about there. Okay, so people are saying, well, yeah, you could get a PC for that sort of price, that £700-800 price. You could get a PC for that. Not a particularly great gaming PC, but you could get a gaming PC for that price, and then you'd have all the wonderful things that gaming PCs bring you, like all the horrible troubleshooting that you have to do with games from Steam. But you do have the advantage of, not having to pay for PlayStation Plus, and you get your free games off other places like Epic Game Store, which obviously seems to give you like free games every week, which I need to be covering in Free Game Friday later today. So you do have those those free games that you seem to get on PC. Everyone seems to be giving away games on PC, and the number of times I've got the game Control. Anyone who actually bought Control, I feel a little bit sorry of you, because everywhere Control has been free, right? I think I must have like 4 or 5 copies of the game Control, which is nice. It's just nice. Okay, so yeah, what can you get for £800 these days? It buys you like maybe 8 tanks of fuel. And that's about it. Yeah, you could buy one reasonably, not the high end GPU for that amount of money if you were going the PC route, right? So yeah, you could buy a gaming PC, whether it be like an 8-core gaming PC with a decent GPU for £800 or £700. I'm not really sure, and then obviously then you got to buy your mouse and keyboard, and that can be different amounts of money, and you're not getting a controller with it. And people always seem to forget that you get a free controller with your PlayStation, which is worth like 60 quid. So again, I mean, they didn't give you the Elite controller, obviously, because they want 200 quid for that. So when you compare it to the price of the Elite controller, which is a very difficult value proposition, 200 quid for a controller, good God, then then it doesn't look quite so bad, I guess. And then you don't have all that. You don't have all the PC jank. I mean, if you were thinking that you were gonna play all the UEBR stuff on your $800 PC, that's not happening. That's not happening. You need to spend like thousands if you want to do that. So, yes, you could play PC, but then you are missing out on those lovely features that you get with PlayStation, like your adaptive triggers and all those kinds of things that you will definitely have on the games, provided they work them into it. So yes, your experience with PC, you could do that, and you could live that life of faff, of getting things to work. Your day one patches and all that kind of thing. But obviously, you can word process on it and stuff, which no doubt is useful because of the extra functionality. Like, and this is how people justify the price of like their mobile phone being like all new mobile phones being like this order of magnitude in terms of money, and people not thinking about it because they've got used to paying that monthly contract, like £30 or £40 a month, which when you add it up is a tremendous amount of money. So I don't do that. I try and buy my phones second hand and pay as you go. So I try and save some money there. But I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people, particularly the new Apple phones, are eye-wateringly expensive, and oh god, I'm so bad at this game. It's only by like ignoring those monthly fees that you can justify to yourself, really. A lot of people, they value their phone so much that they're quite happy to pay like these 30, 40 pound a month fees and easily forget about it. But then I probably pay more than that for my very expensive broadband, and I don't justify that. I don't justify that to myself, and I'm probably getting ripped off there too. So these monthly fees that you kind of forget. Oh my god, I even screwed that one up. These monthly fees that you kind of forget build up hugely, versus like the one-off payment of a PlayStation 5. But the thing is, you are still paying those monthly fees, aren't you, for your PlayStation Plus and your PlayStation Plus Extra and your PlayStation Plus Premium, if you have those things. So yeah, okay, so it does sting a bit, doesn't it? It does sting a bit. It does seem expensive for what looked like marginal improvements, and that's down to the presentation by Mark Sony. I'm going to call him that from now on. That's down to the presentation and putting it on YouTube of all platforms. You're not going to be able to see the difference between a 30 and a 60 frames experience very easily on YouTube with a compressed presentation. And most people are going to be looking at their phone, so they won't even be looking in the resolution that is relevant. And it's like one of those things, isn't it? You can't show it. I saw Digital Foundry was talking about this when the release of the PlayStation 4 Pro came out, which I did buy. So yeah, I'm coming from that place. Am I the target market for this? Maybe, but I am balking a little bit of this one. They couldn't show the HDR. They couldn't show the 4K on YouTube. So all those things that they're trying to sell you, they can't show you. It's the same with VR. VR is a really hard sell because you can't easily show people that, hey, look, I can look around. And that's a good thing. And it looks great to me. And it feels like I'm in this spaceship. That's hard to show in a YouTube video, perhaps. You know, unless you've done it yourself, you might think, oh, well, you know, the graphics look worse. And they do. So, yeah, okay. So, yeah. The charging elephant in the room is the price, right? So what I'm trying to say is, yeah, you can afford it if you can afford it. You can afford it if you can justify it to yourself. Is it going to be one of those things you regret? I don't know. Again, it's one of those ones that you need to try it and see, really. And you can't do that yet. So and what they've shown didn't look that compelling. So obviously the comments, and me included, I went straight in and said that Mark Cerny's presentation didn't really convince me, and that they said nothing about PlayStation VR 2, and obviously that's a focus for me. So obviously, you know, they're not really selling it to me, and that's fine because not everything is geared to an individual, is it? And I am probably, being like a VR nut, a serious minority, right? So I'm not the majority PlayStation gamer. I'm one of the enthusiasts. Bought your expensive peripheral, which a lot of people are complaining isn't supported. I have like over 100 VR games on PlayStation VR 2, so I'm not saying it's not supported. I've got a backlog, right? So, you know, I've been happily playing this game for like 15 plus hours, right? And all it is like picking up boxes and putting them in a hole. And I'm happy to do that because I'm in this game, and it's very difficult, and I like the challenge of it. So, you know, I'm happy with PlayStation VR 2 and on PlayStation, playing it on PlayStation, right? So obviously for me it would be compelling if Mark's Sony had said, you know, this is going to make all your PlayStation VR 2 dreams come true, right? Hey, here's my ideal PlayStation VR 2 Pro console, right? Okay, first thing, wireless. That would be fucking phenomenal, right? So if that is in the works, and I say this leaked photo that they leaked themselves by putting a blog post and they subsequently edited it out, right? That is a freaking game changer. Wireless PSVR 2 is a game changer. I've tried to do that. I've tried to do wireless PSVR 2 with a massive battery and a huge backpack with a PlayStation in it, right? Not practical at all. No, not at all practical. So, you know, running the PlayStation 5 off a battery, not a practical proposition at all, right? So, PS5 Pro with Wi-Fi 7 and a wireless adapter or a new version of the PSVR 2. You know, I would probably buy that. I would probably be all in and get them both, you know, because I think the games are good. So, and wireless PSVR 2 would be good, right? Because the wired does a bit get in the way of playing those stand-up games. Now, whether you've actually got space to play those stand-up games is yet another question. I certainly don't. The UK is you know, space is at a premium in the UK in terms of like how much room you have in your house and how much empty space there is in your house. You know, I have like a VR room, and even then it's, you know, I've got a chair in it, and as soon as you put a chair in it, then it's not a VR room anymore, really, is it? Because you can't stand up anymore. You know, so I've screwed myself a bit. I've screwed myself a bit by putting like a comfortable chair in the room. What I really need is no comfortable chair in the room, force you to stand up. That would be better. But you know, but then you're sort of like, limited to the Quest headsets, and the visual fidelity on the Quest isn't so good. This is certainly turning into a little ramble, isn't it? It's definitely a stream of consciousness ramble. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So yes, if so, yeah. What is my ideal? That's what we're on. That's what we're on. What would be my ideal PlayStation 5 Pro? So yeah, the Wi-Fi 7 / wireless adapter for PSVR 2 is something I wanted, but had kind of given up on. As I say, I did try. I'd spent a significant amount of money buying a battery that can run PSVR 2 wirelessly. Run the PlayStation 5 wirelessly. A considerable amount of money was spent on that video. No one watched it, but anyway, I basically copied what someone else had done anyway, so that's fine. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But I was like, oh wow, I want that, and then I was like, oh my god, I don't want that. It weighs like £22, so I don't actually want that in that form factor. I do want it, but not with a really heavy, like 2 or 3 kilogram battery. In a baby carrier. So yeah, do look at that wireless PSVR 2 short video, and like there's a 10-minute video like talking about the whole thing and how stupid it is. But yes, a wireless version of the PSVR 2 or a wireless adapter for PlayStation 5 Pro and its Wi-Fi 7 or whatever, that could be a compelling PlayStation VR 2 version of the PS5 Pro that I would be interested in. Right. The second thing they could have done, but didn't, is to say we've put in dedicated hardware that converts all flat PlayStation 4 and PS5 games into VR games. That, it's like it renders the other viewpoint for your other eye. It hardware changes the way inputs are done, right, without requiring the devs to do anything. So that your controller works, or you can just use your DualShock controller. But it hardware does the second viewport for 3D, right? That would have made a good argument for a PSVR centric PlayStation 5 Pro. Wow, I'm gonna die. Okay, but they didn't do that. So Mark, where was that? Where was that? Maybe you'd need twice the GPU for that. I would pay for that. Like a convenient. I told this to I talked to my wife and I said this PlayStation 5 Pro is not really going to do anything for VR, and the price is high. And she said, "Oh, I thought you were going to say 1,000 to 1,200 quid, right?" And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Why don't they make a high-end one, a proper high-end one?" Right, because you've got a high-end gaming PC and it causes you nothing but consternation, right? But the PlayStation is simple, right? So it's the PC without all that hassle, right? So why don't they do a high-end one? She said at £1,200 or £1,000, £1,200, that's actually good, right? That's actually good with like twice the GPU, right? And that has all the VR, like. All that UEVR stuff, like just built in, but with a hardware solution, so that it actually friggin' works, like really well. And then suddenly all your games, all your favorite games, all the ones that people say there aren't any games on PS, or my game isn't on PSVR 2, therefore I don't care. All those people would have their questions, if you like, answered. Like, we are going to solve that, friction problem. And it's gone, right? So I have I don't want to say friends. That's probably overselling it, but like the guys on the Gaming is in Session podcast, right? I follow them avidly. I've done one video with them, right? They had me on their podcast once, and they bought the PS adapter, for the PC adapter for PSVR 2, and I was going to play a couple of games with them, and one of them, Adam, was having all sorts of trouble getting it to work. Every time he wanted to play it, because he was going from PlayStation to the PC, right? You have to like repair the controllers, and it doesn't always work, and the Bluetooth is finicky, and all that shit that comes with PC, right, was enough. He was like, I have a limited free time, I want my gaming time to be like spent gaming, not spent troubleshooting, right? And he said, that's it. It's taken me more than half an hour to set it up, right, to go from like, where it was connected to the PlayStation to have it connected to the PC so that we could play Battlezone. It's taken me more than half an hour. I'm out. That's it. I'm selling the freaking thing. And he sold the adapter, right? So I can understand that. I absolutely understand that. I have been there. I have a lot of free time, which is like a friggin' luxury, right? A lot of people do not have anything like the amount of free time I have. So faffing with PC, like when all you want to do is, sit down and game, is really what you're paying the Sony tax for, if you like. You are paying for that convenience, You don't have to faff with anything. It just bloody works, right? And I think his frustration was that, the PC adapter really doesn't just fucking work. It's not straightforward. For some people it is, and if you leave it connected and your controller's bloody connected all the time, then yeah, sure, right? Or if you bought a second PSVR 2 and you said, well, that's my PC one, then fine. Yeah, but if you're like swapping and changing from one to the other, it is a mega faff. So I can fully get that. PC gaming is it can be, and a lot of people are going to be like, in the comments about, I've never had a problem with Steam, I've never had to do anything. You obviously haven't done much gaming, because if you've never had a problem, then I don't know. You clearly haven't like done any mods or like tried to install them, or particularly ones that are outside. Even the ones inside Steam, like the Steam Workshop ones, that's one level. But like if you go into like a different level, like you're trying to do Skyrim and you're trying to download Nexus, and then you click the thing and it doesn't friggin' work, because of course it doesn't, then you'll know there's a whole different level. And once you're in PC, right, that's what you've got in it for, right? You've got it for those mods and those things that you wanted, right? Those things that are going to suck hours and hours of your time. I bought a PC from a gaming focused company, and I swear to you, it fucking pisses me off every time I use it, because the Ethernet doesn't start, right? When I start the computer, right? No one seems to be able to solve this problem, right? Either. Like the Ethernet does not start with the computer. It only starts with restarting the computer. So every time I use the PC, it punishes me, right? I shut it down. When I finish, I start the computer up, and it automatically boots into Wi-Fi without Ethernet, right? Which is fine unless you want to stream, in which case, it ain't fine. Or you want to download a game, you don't want to be downloading that on bloody Wi-Fi. So every single time, I have to start the computer twice, right? And that pisses me off, because it's like, I just want to do something. I'll just start the computer. I have to wait for it to start, and it ain't fast. It doesn't boot up like a PlayStation does. No, those days are gone, right? I have SSD. Everything's on SSD, right? I don't have a hard drive. And yet, Windows is friggin' slow, and then to pour salt into the wound, I have to wait for it to start and then restart it for the blinking Ethernet to work, right? The number of times I've been like, I'm ready to stream. I've got it all set up. I've got OBS launched, and I've remembered to open the game first so that the audio's in OBS, because otherwise it won't see it. Because OBS is a piece of shit software that cannot cope with things changing on your computer. You have to have it all set up in advance before you even fire the thing up. Right, and heaven forfend that you try and do something else with OBS started and you forgot that the number keypad you've set up to start your stream, and then you're typing something and you've used the number and it started bloody recording in the background, and you're like, why is this recording? Good God, thank God it's not streaming. Because you've accidentally left OBS running while you're trying to create the thumbnail for a video. You've typed the number 0 and it's now recording you. It's oh my God. Anyway, so anyone who's done any of that shit will know that in order to create a stream and get everything set up is a big job, and then you go, oh great, I've done all that now, and then you realise that no, you haven't, because you have forgotten to restart the whole machine to get the friggin' Ethernet to work, and you've got to start all over again. So yeah, that's the PC experience, and I'm like, fine, that's not for everyone, and it's certainly not for anyone with no patience, and it's certainly not and I despair. I mean, how long has Windows been out, right? And these things are still a problem. It's still a thing. It's still a thing. We are nowhere near a seamless gaming experience, console-like experience on PC. Microsoft have had frigging years, 30 years to sort this out, and they're still nowhere near a console level of seamlessness. Just having it frigging work, and nor is Valve either. They're nowhere near ready to launch that Steam Deck thing that they had. That the not Steam Link, those Steam boxes. They were nowhere near ready to launch those. Big picture mode is a joke. It's an absolute joke. You can't even get controller support to always be working, can you? No. And you can't even get the button prompts to always be the right ones for the controller that you're currently using. So they are nowhere near, absolutely nowhere near the user experience of a console. Not even close. It's not a race, right? They have already lost that one. So I can fully understand not wanting to touch PC with a barge pole and being tempted by thinking that I'll be able to play all of my games on PC, but being completely unprepared for having to go into the settings of every game and trying to figure out what FFAA is, and what temporal anti-aliasing is, and learning what all these bloody things are, just so that you can enjoy your game that's going to be a stutterfest otherwise. And just throwing money at it doesn't solve it either, because I have a very high-end gaming PC, and I can still have games stutter like friggin' mad, even though I want to lock, because I can't lock them to the frame rate of my monitor. So unless you're also, if you're buying a high-end gaming PC, you also need that, the monitor that has the ability to match the frames that your GPU is putting out. So that is, that can be a bloody £1,000, right? So again, it's not like just putting it on your TV. You can put it on your TV, but if it doesn't have FSR or the G-Sync or FreeSync or all these things, right? If your TV doesn't have those, which it won't, because your TV is most likely between 5 and 10 years old. Right? Because people don't change their TVs except every 5 or 10 years, right? So the chances are, on average, your TV's 5 years old. So it probably won't have FSR. So unless you bought a TV within the last like 4 or 5 years, you won't have that. You won't have the FSR or the FreeSync compatibility or anything like that. So yeah, so really you'll need to buy a monitor, right? And they can be like, if you want a good one, like less than 1 millisecond response time, maybe you want OLED, you know, you're looking at $1,000, you know. And so suddenly, you know, the additional shit that you have to buy to make it a good experience on PC is going to be way more. Yeah, sure, you could get a really good experience in the end, but you have to be prepared to pay for that. So I probably did it wrong. I have a really good PC, but not the expensive monitor, and you can, you know, you set the graphics all the way up and it can still be a choppy stutterfest, right? Even if you spent like thousands and thousands on your PC, right? Which is not the experience you're likely to get on PlayStation, where it's been optimized for that particular hardware. Oh, I forgot to go to low. Yeah, so so is the thing you've got to also take into account then when you're looking at the PlayStation 5 Pro is it worth not having all that friggin' heartache, right, that comes with PC ownership, you know, for your gaming experience? You maybe you don't want that. Maybe you don't want that shit. Maybe you just want to come home and play a game, right? In which case, PC is not your like weapon of choice for that. I would suggest. And maybe if you're not happy with 30 frames per second, obviously that's not really a problem with the VR so much. But then the graphic fidelity probably is more of the issue. Then, you know, maybe the PlayStation 5 Pro makes some sense, even at that price. And like I say, if you like forget how much you spend on Netflix every month, and your gaming is your hobby, then maybe the price, the eye-watering price, is justifiable. Or perhaps you should wait till after Christmas, when they will inevitably drop that. They will. Well, I say inevitably. That didn't really happen with PlayStation 5, did it? So maybe those days are over, you know, of like things getting cheaper. And we definitely have seen those days being over when it comes to like GPU prices, because they just haven't got cheaper, have they? The next generation doesn't come in at the same price anymore. It comes in at more. You know, like, you want more, you pay more. You know, it seems that, you know, the advances in node technology, which is like the size of the little transistors on the chip, getting smaller, and therefore things being cheaper in terms of material costs, are no longer like linear anymore. So, you know, whereas things used to cost X and you'd get more performance and they'd still cost X, now they don't. Now if you want X plus 10% performance, you have to pay X plus 20% price, seemingly. So this doesn't surprise me that, you know, you're looking at nearly twice the price or something for 1.5 times performance. It's not actually that surprising, and it seems to be the way things are going, and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Those real great days of like Moore's law seem to be over in terms of pricing, anyway, and have been for a long time. And I think it demands that everything has on compute. So like your car has a lot of compute in it. Your dishwasher, they're putting compute in your friggin' dishwasher. They're putting AI in your fridge freezer, and it's like, please stop. Please stop doing that, because that is wrecking. That's wrecking supply, and also having like one manufacturer like TSMC producing almost all the chips. That's fucking folly, isn't it? That's folly right there. Relying on one person with basically a monopoly on all the chips for everything, and it's like, why are we doing this? That that all eggs in one basket. That that's proven to be a bad idea, right? So I can see why, um, you know, even Nvidia was like, we're getting out of this. We're going to have Samsung. I think they got Samsung to make some of the GPUs at one point. We'll have them do it, because TSMC were like, no, our prices are going up, and they're like, oh right, so you're holding us over a barrel? Then we'll go somewhere else. And they're like, sure, fine. We've still sold all our capacity anyway. We've sold it to Xbox and PlayStation, who are both, and AMD are all having their chips made by us. And Nvidia are like, oh shit, actually we do want a good chip manufacturer, so we're gonna have to like eat humble pie and come back, which is what they did, of course. And everything is more expensive now, so yeah, that doesn't make it any easier. And like I say, if you can't afford it, then I'm not being like rude or anything. If you can't afford it, then don't, because it is just incrementally slightly better graphics. I think a lot of people haven't gone from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5, have they? PlayStation 4 was so successful that people just haven't gone, and they certainly haven't bought the Xbox this year, this generation, have they? Seemingly, because Sony did actually bring something to the table with PlayStation 5 in terms of like the improved controllers and stuff. There was no compelling reason to own an Xbox, especially if you owned a PC already. There's no compelling reason to own an Xbox, even well, apart from the aforementioned convenience. But it's a harder sell. That convenience is a harder sell if you already own that game on a PC, effectively. I know this is just a stream of consciousness. So am I going to get one? Is the question. I don't know. I think my wife is like happier with it than I am. I'm like, it doesn't offer a lot for me, and she's like, I've seen how angry the PC gets you, so maybe it does. And I'm like, okay. Because what I didn't mention to like Adam and Alex was that when I was getting ready to play Battlezone with them on PSVR 2 on PC, I set it up the night before and I left my PC running, right? Because I knew I was going to have to get up in the middle of the night to play Battlezone with Alex, right? Because they run a different time zone to me. So I knew that it was going to be in the middle of the night. I knew it was going to be a faff to set up, and I set it up the night before, and made sure everything was running and it was all working beforehand. So I fully get it. Adam come along and he was like, right, I just want to play Battlezone with my friends. Oh shit, it's taken me more than half an hour to set up. That's it, I'm out. So I do get that. I do absolutely get that. So, the convenience of PlayStation with a bit more graphical horsepower could be compelling for some people. Obviously, there's like a different imperative if you're a content creator and you want to actually cover it. So I have to look at that. I would like it if like an outlet like Digital Foundry, who are very careful on determining what's good in terms of like frame rate and stuff like that. I would like it if they covered VR games. I think it's going to be extremely difficult to cover VR games. Um, with a view to, like, is it worth getting a PlayStation Pro, PlayStation 5 Pro, to play VR? But I don't think they'll cover that. So there's a niche there. Maybe this channel will be the one that does it. Uh, Again, there's like problems with like capture. Like, how do you capture? Oh shit! I just fired a missile at that. I tried to dock, and I pressed the wrong button. I get confused. Um, just fired a missile at the inside of my mothership. Uh, so yeah, what am I trying to say? Am I going to get one? Maybe if I was going to cover it. Maybe if I wanted to turn my channel into like the digital foundry of PlayStation VR. But I don't know. So I don't know how I would go about doing that. Like capturing inside headset video, like proper through the lens inside headset video to show differences in graphical fidelity. I don't know how feasible that is. Again, you're back to using a PC, so it takes all the joy out of it. You're not playing a game anymore, are you? You're analyzing it into abstraction. And I guess I'm not really about that. I am interested, right? Don't get me wrong, I am interested in those kinds of videos a bit. But then I think they almost go too far on like Digital Foundry. They're like, oh yeah, look at this ambient occlusion shadow and how much better it is. And I'm like, I don't think I would notice that. There's a lot of that goes on. I'm like, I don't think I would actually notice that when I was playing a game. And then it's like, it really does become diminishing returns then, doesn't it? It's like, yeah, it's extremely subtle. This blade of grass looks slightly better. And that is the PC like gamble as well, isn't it? Like, you get into this thing, you want the best fidelity, you want it to be the best, and you want it to run at the smoothest, and you want it to be at that huge frame rate if possible. And yeah, that's the promise. But then it's in the end, you go, okay, I've gone from a 1080 Ti to like a 4090, and can I actually see the difference at 4K 60? I was running 4K, not 60, but I was running at 4K. Can I now see the difference in this game, or this other game might not run? So, and then if you're trying to force things into VR, and you're trying to like, I've got to faff around with changing the camera position in UVR. Do I really want to spend like that much time doing it? Do I want to play that game again, but in VR? The game that I've already played like 400 hours on. Do I want to play again for another 400 hours? Like Skyrim and like Fallout 4, they came out with VR versions. I bought those VR versions. I didn't play those VR versions, right? What is wrong with me, right? You'd think. But because I've already played it, that's why I haven't played all the way through Resident Evil Village again in VR, because I already played it flat, right? So, and there's a limited amount of time in your life, isn't there? And you go like, well, did I really enjoy it enough to like want to do it again, even though it is a completely different experience in VR? Which is why I think like VR games need to come out. If you're going to do like the hybrid thing, where you've got the game comes out flat and also in VR, make damn sure that the VR version comes out pretty quickly, like preferably at the same time as the flat version, because if I play that game flat, I'm probably not going to play it again in VR, realistically, because there's so much stuff coming out, right? I don't have, unless the game is like my favoriteest game ever, and even then, because like one of my favoriteest games ever was Horizon Zero Dawn, right? Not Call of the Mountain. Horizon Zero Dawn. And I technically can now play it in VR on PC. And I did. I was like, oh wow, I'm in the world. I did play it, but I didn't play it all the way through. No, I played it for about 2 or 3 hours, right? And then it's like, oh god, why? Because A, it was an incredible faff. And then B, all those like systems that don't, like, the shadows don't quite work. Oh, did I mention this? Okay, I've got a really powerful PC, right? So I can play Horizon Zero Dawn, and it does look incredible in VR, and I would love to play it properly in VR. I have the ability to play it properly in VR, but the game is extraordinary. I think because I played the game before so many times, I was like, I'll put it on difficulty. I'll put it on highest difficulty, and then it becomes very difficult. And I think you'll need to reduce that a bit. If you're playing in first person VR, it's not the same as playing in third person, is it? You need to take into account that when things come from behind you, you're not going to be aware that has happened. Oh, shit. Why does it do that? It's like so much additional force gets applied. I think it's because I accidentally did the forward thrust on. Pitch, roll, yours wrong. Got it. Yeah, where was I? I don't know. Yes, Horizon Zero Dawn. So I have the ability to play that in VR, but I have not played the full game in VR, and I probably ought to do that because, as I say, it was one of my favouriteest games. But as well as the faff of having to use like a third-party mod, where the shadows aren't quite right, they don't quite work, and things of that nature. Drop off. Oh, I finished. As well as that, there's the fact that you've played the game already. You've already played the game. You know how it plays out. So you're not doing it for the first time. So you go, oh wow, this is incredible. It's amazing to be in that world. And look at this, now big robot dinosaur. That is amazing. And I should go back and play it. But instead I'm playing this, right? Because there's so much new stuff also. That you want to do. So I'm actually playing this thinking, oh gosh, I should go back and play Elite Dangerous because the Elite Dangerous was a more complete game than this and arguably graphically superior. And I now have a really beefy PC that I play on, and I have better HOTAS on that. But then it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to set all that up. And even like that, even things like setting up the HOTAS on the PC can be a pain because of like USB port conflicts. Have you had experienced that on PC? It's like, oh yeah, oh does that not work? Try it in a different USB port. How is that a thing, right? How is that a thing? That could be the case, right? Try it in a different USB port is a known troubleshooting method. Why? Why are the USB ports not created equal? How is that a thing? Is that a Windows thing? So shit like that that makes no sense logically, right? It makes no logical sense that one USB port should be favored over another one. Why is that a thing? That is still a thing. All right, we had it recently with the try PlayStation VR 2 on PC. One of them is like, oh, people are getting a Bluetooth adapter All right, let's talk about that for a second. All right, because we are still talking about PS5 Pro because we're comparing it to PC. Some people have said, fuck it, I'm out. I'm getting a PC. This is ridiculous, right? So let's just talk about what your experience might be like on PSVR 2 on PC. I have done it a bit because I said friend. That's pushing it a bit, all right? People I've spoken to that I really like on YouTube. That I'm effectively stalking. Not really, not really. Oh dear. My fellow VR PlayStation brothers. They have problems with the Bluetooth adapter, right? Because if you haven't got onboard Bluetooth, then you could have problems, right? I had problems with the Bluetooth, right? Because I didn't know the Bluetooth on my motherboard was better than the Bluetooth adapter that I was using, right? And the thing about PC is you can only use one Bluetooth radio at a time. But they let you put more than one Bluetooth radio on, but you shouldn't put more than one Bluetooth radio on because it will be random which Bluetooth radio it decides to use. So it could be using the wrong one, the shitter one, right? And like the instructions that came with my Be Haptic stuff, which obviously I got like ages ago when they were new, was a Bluetooth 4 adapter, and my motherboard had Bluetooth 5.3 or something, which is what you kind of need for your PlayStation, right? And a lot of people are not going to know. Oh my god, did that just bounce? No, I think it's still on the way. That you can only have one Bluetooth adapter working at a time. A lot of people aren't going to know that because it's not general knowledge, is it? Right? I found that out afterwards that it's a bad idea to have more than one. You can only really handle one at a time. Oh, why does it always do that? It's like it holds the inertia and then suddenly releases it all at once. Sometimes it just works. So yeah, that is like one of the problems that you can just have on PC, right? And not only that, you get this Bluetooth adapter, and the people have said, oh, if it doesn't work, try it in a different USB port. Try it in a USB 2 port instead of a USB 3 port. That is literally one of the pieces of advice I've seen on the internet. Try it in a USB 2 port rather than a USB 3 port. So where's the intuitive solution there? So your USB dongle might work better in a slower USB port, right? What? Why? PC. That's the answer. PC, because they're stupid, right? They're based on such old software that who friggin' knows what's going on in there? Not even Microsoft know what's going on in there. So that's the friggin'. I'm the 11th and I've still not got gold. So that is your issue right there. PC. The operating system on PC is such old janky shit, and you can see that everywhere on PC, like in the troubleshooting that they're rescinding, right? The network troubleshooting, because I said I've had that network problem, right? The network troubleshooting is a friggin' joke. How can you have network troubleshooting that relies on the internet for its data, right? So there's network troubleshooting that you need the internet for. Right? It's like, and then you've got network troubleshooting. I've got a problem with Ethernet, right? So the the troubleshooter for the Ethernet goes onto the internet and it goes like, oh, there's no problem with your internet because you've got Wi-Fi. I'm like, but I've got a problem with Ethernet. And it's like, but I can connect to the internet, so you don't have a problem. And I'm like, I do have a problem. And it's like, oh, and if your Ethernet doesn't connect, right, it hides it in Device Manager, right? It hides it. It's like, I know there's a problem, and I know it's not functioning correctly. I'll just sweep it under the carpet. It won't even show up on the Device Manager if it's broken. That's like the worst kind of like management thing you could do, right? It's like, oh, I realize there's a problem. We don't want you to know that there's a problem. We'll hide that. We'll hide that problem from you, and then you don't need to worry about it. And I'm like, is that really how they think people work? It's like, oh, I realised that the Ethernet's not working. For some reason, it hasn't started. We don't know why, but don't worry about it because your Wi-Fi is working, and provided you can connect to the internet, it doesn't matter what speed that is, provided you can connect to the internet. Your problem is solved, right? No, my problem is not solved. My problem is solved when I can actually use the thing I'm trying to use. So, that is the shit you have to deal with on PC. Even with brand new hardware. So, not very convincing. Oh, Christ. I don't know what I crashed into. But I crashed hard. Yeah. So, am I convincing myself? Already got the PC. Don't need it. Right. And I don't want to crash into that, if possible. Yes, I could convince myself that. And I could have left, PlayStation and PSVR 2, couldn't I? But I haven't, because of that friction. And you could argue that that's the reason why Quest has been so successful, right? Because the friction of putting on a headset is lower, but the appeal of putting on the Quest headset is lower than putting on this one. So in actual fact, I wasn't too enamored of Quest 3. I couldn't see significant benefits. They talked about like the lenses. The lenses are actually really good. They do reduce friction because it's easier to find the sweet spot and all that kind of thing. But the actual displays aren't that great, and the field of view ain't that great either. So they got some stuff to work on there. And again, it was the price that was an issue. So this is another thing, right? Like what happened with Quest 3, they're already pivoting on that one, Oh shit, I should have gone low. They're already pivoting on Quest 3, right? They're releasing a cheaper one because the price point's too high, right? Last Christmas last Christmas was the Quest 3 Christmas, right? That was when it launched, and you know what everyone was buying? Quest freaking 2, because they dropped the price. Should they have been buying Quest 2? No, of course not, because now you got even longer before they can make better games, because they'll always have to backwardly compatible with them. And again, we had this problem with PS5, really. That most of the games that were coming out were PS4 games. Now, part of the reason for that is the architecture is very similar between PS5 and PS4. They're basically just PCs set without the faff. So maybe that will make it more likely that there's PS4 Pro patches, PS5 Pro patches, because they're basically just PCs. So maybe it'll be easier for developers to put those Oh, my 111th, not 11th. I misread that. I misread that. So yeah. So PS5 Pro then. Am I get? I still haven't answered ever. Am I getting it? Am I getting it? I don't know. It's hard when there's no evidence that it's going to help PlayStation VR 2 yet. So maybe not at launch then. So yeah, maybe not at launch. Certainly. Oh shit! Too much roll. And now it's moving. And this is why I'm 111th. I mean, admittedly, I'm not concentrating as much because I'm talking to you. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Again, expensive. You've got to. Do we believe Mark Cerny? I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? Right. So when PlayStation 5 launched, it was all, oh, the super fast SSD means that everything's going to load smoothly, and um, you can have like all these better graphical games, and it's all going to run at 60 frames per second. And then what actually happened was people buy games on it looking pretty, right? So all the game developers said our game needs to look pretty. So what they did was they, in order to not lie about that, they had to put in like a fidelity mode, right? Where the game looks pretty in order to sell boxes, right? So they did that, and then they were like, oh shit, in this fidelity mode, it can't run at a playable frame rate of 60 frames per second. It runs at like between 25 and 30 frames per second in the fidelity mode. And people were like, oh shit, I don't want to play the game like that. But they bought it then, right? So then they play the game actually at like 60 frames per second with the not quite so good graphics. All right, so that is what everyone goes and does. Right? So in order to sell the game, they needed to have that fidelity mode, and in order to not be called liars, they actually needed to put it in the game so you could theoretically play it like that. But no one wants to play it like that. 2/3 of people don't play it like that. They're gonna play it, more than 2/3, and you say 3/4, play it in the mode where it's playable at 60 frames per second. And then they do that. And now PS5 Pro is supposed to like square that circle. Like you can have your cake and eat it, sort of, almost, because the fidelity mode is going to work at 60 frames per second, or it could do. But what's actually going to happen is they'll just improve they'll just improve the pretty mode to make it more, make the games like sell, right? They'll just improve the pretty mode, and then you'll still have you'll still not play it at that. So yeah, it's questionable, isn't it? It's questionable. So yeah, there's a danger that the pro mode will just allow them to create a prettier trailer, saying, "Oh, running on PS Pro," but you won't want to play it like that. You could play it like that, but you won't want to. You'll be wanting to play it at 60 frames per second. So. Oh gosh, we're actually going for a record here then. Watch me screw this up. Oh, wow. Hey, I dropped it down to 47th. That's worth 2 stars. Oh, I needed it in 28 seconds less. Oh dear, making some improvements. But yeah, making some improvements, making incremental improvements. That's basically all we're doing here, as far as PlayStation 5 Pro goes. Wow, my hands are cold. Employees of the month, second. What? Hall of Fame, 63rd on the Hall of Fame. Look at Wrong Horse and Millhouse. Good grief. I hadn't noticed this Hall of Fame. I was second in the Employees of the Month. I don't know. It's just the number of stars I've gained. I don't know. In this month, Side Shout is the number one. I'm 1 point behind. I think it's a daily job, isn't there? A weekly job I did. Oh, it's weekly. Weekly, not a daily. I'm second now. Someone's beaten me. Well done, Blue Bravado, Blue 6 Bravo, Blue 6 Bravo. Well done on beating my weekly time. That's kind of annoying. I'm slightly annoyed by that. I'm marginally annoyed. I did it on a harder difficulty, so nah. All right, yeah. So what? Let's go over it again. PS5 Pro is expensive. PS5 Pro doesn't come with a disc drive, so if you wanted to save money buying second-hand games, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the drive not being on it. It doesn't come with the drive, the disc drive. So there are some advantages, obviously, of having the disc drive on the PlayStation. One is that you can buy 4K Blu-rays and watch them. All right, and 4K Blu-rays are significantly higher resolution and better than anything you get on streaming, even if you've got really decent internet. All right, fact. So there's that. You might want the disc drive to watch media. Yep. That's the first reason you might want to drive. So it's a bit disappointing that it's not on the Pro model as standard. Obviously, you pay for that. It's £100. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you can save money on your games by buying them physically and then you can sell them afterwards to someone else, or you could buy them secondhand, which you can't do with a digital game. If you buy the game digitally off the PlayStation Store, you can't then sell it. So yeah, that obviously is another compelling reason to have your PlayStation disc drive. So watching media and secondhand cheap games. That didn't go in, did it? I screwed it up. Bugger. Right, so let's look at that then, because there's some other aspects to this too. Why might you want to buy a game digitally rather than physically? Right, the first thing is that your digital game is the up-to-date one, And even if you're using a physical game and you install it from the media onto your hard drive, you have to install it from the media onto your hard drive. It doesn't play from that media anymore. So there's no compelling reason for you to own the physical media other than you own it, but you won't be able to play that version off the disc. You almost certainly will have to download the game from the internet anyway to play it. So that's one thing. Two, obviously you can do that, save money, cheaper thing. That is a compelling reason to buy discs. I've done that precisely once. I did that with Returnal, thinking that I'm not going to actually keep that game, and then it ended up being so bloody good that I did keep that game, and then eventually they gave it away digitally anyway. So I kind of screwed myself a bit with that. I should have sold it, but I didn't, because I put like friggin' 800 hours in into that. So that didn't work. That didn't work out. So I have as yet bought like one physical game this generation, which was Returnal, and I didn't sell it. Right, so arguably I screwed up buying the disc version, right? Especially as I already had like a 4K Blu-ray player to play physical media on, and to be honest, I haven't actually bought that much physical media recently. Again, this is another, the convenience thing outweighs the quality thing. So that's, it's annoying. That is the sad truth of it. That I would prefer to watch the 4K Blu-ray, but the reality of it is that even though I own the 4K Blu-ray of like Mad Max, the other day I saw it on streaming and ended up watching it on streaming despite the fact I own the disc, because I couldn't be bothered to go into the other room and look for it. Right. So that's damning. That's damning. So, and also, right, if you own more than one PlayStation 5, right, and say you've got like a sibling or a child that also has a PlayStation 5, if you're in that position where you own more than one, then rather than them nicking the disc off you and you not being able to find it when you want to play that game, if you have it digitally, you both can play off the same license. So, and also for multiplayer games, you can use the same PlayStation Plus account. So it makes sense to buy the digital version if it's a multiplayer game, or if you have more than one PlayStation. That is just fact. So I don't know, a lot of people know that that's a thing, that you get 2 licenses with every game you buy. It used to be 3. Under PlayStation 3, you had 3 licenses, and that was even better. So if you had 3 PlayStations, then 3 people could play the same game at the same time. I know one time we had like a Minecraft party, and I had like 3 PlayStations playing it at the same time. And you could have like 4-player split screen, so you could have 12 people playing off one license. All right, so a bit ridiculous perhaps, and I think maybe Sony patched it out for that reason. Yeah, I didn't hit the dev time, but I did. Does that put me ahead of Sideshout? Ha ha ha! It does. Okay. Quite pleased with 38th, right? That's not bad. Not bad. Better than you sandling, really, because I know they did it twice as fast. I did it more difficult level. What am I talking about? Yeah. What was I talking about? I don't know. I was so pleased with myself. So pleased with myself, I forgot. Oh God. So yeah. Oh God, this is so hard. This is a really hard level. I'm probably going to require too much thought to be able to maintain my train of thought. I think that train of thought has been derailed completely. Wow, I'm at full thrust. Yeah. What was I talking about? I have no idea. Oh my God, did I get it? Yeah. So, I think we're out of the pull of the gravitational anomaly. What was I talking about? I've totally forgotten. Whew, got it. I might be able to release that. Yeah. So we've yet to see what PS5 Pro will do for PS. Yes, we were talking about disk drive. That's right. That's what we were talking about. The disk drive. So yeah, two reasons why you might not want the disk drive. One, multiplayer games, you're better off if you've got more than one PlayStation to buy the digital one, because it's two licenses instead of one. Even if you're buying the physical version of the game, chances are you would not be able to buy two physical discs for less than it costs you to buy the digital license. So it pays you to buy the digital version of the game. Even if you were trying to sell them afterwards, you would still be better off with two licenses by buying the digital version than one license from the physical. Finding the discs, again, can be a pain in the arse, especially if you are using it, like if you have more than one PlayStation in your family. So, yep, again, difficult. You have to have the disc in the drive if you want to play the game. So if two of you want to play like Resident Evil Village at the same time, then you know you've got to have the disc to play it, which is annoying. So another reason why you might not want to buy the physical version, you might want the digital one. And then again, that media thing where everyone isn't really using physical media to watch movies anymore, they're all streaming it. So again, not a great value proposition to buy the disc. So I can see why they might think that people aren't actually that bothered by physical media anymore. I get it. I get it because it's realistically, although like preservation of games is a thing, you can't preserve games because if they take the digital version away, you haven't got the patches, right? So it doesn't help you to have the physical version of the game. You can't play it from the disc. The version on the disc is not the latest version. If it's a multiplayer game, it's definitely not the latest version. You can't play it on the disc, and they still require a server. So you're not winning or preserving your game by having the disc, arguably. So am I annoyed by the drive not being there? A little bit. I'm actually at the point where I'm thinking about buying the Astrobot 2D game. I'm, again, one of those people that is a little bit annoyed that it's not in VR because we had Astrobot Rescue Mission and it was so good. So again, I'm one of those people that's a little bit annoyed by the fact that we don't have the new Astrobot game in VR. But so I was considering buying the disc version of that game. It's not a multiplayer game, so my argument for it's a full price game. That's another reason for like maybe buying a disc because you can probably sell it afterwards after you played it. It's a one and done kind of game, probably. So it's a one and done game. It's a non-multiplayer one and done game. So it's a good candidate for buying a disc, right? So I was thinking about buying Astrobot with a view to like playing it and then selling it. But I'm just not very good at playing it and selling it. But my son also wants to play it, so chances are there will be a bit of contention about who's got the disc and when. So again, there's a chance of saving a bit of money by having the disc, but how many games are you going to buy such that it's been worth it? So if you're going to buy a lot of full price games and then sell them, then it is probably worth it. Those one and done games, if you play a lot of multiplayer games, may not be worth it unless you like one and done those. I don't know how many people do that, one and done multiplayer games. Probably ought to, like, because a lot of them are like popular only when they're new. aren't they? Then they tend to die because they lose their player base. So, oh god, I've gone way too fast. Oh wow, I did it. That's got to be better, right? Ooh. 116th. Wow, someone did it in gold level. It's like less than 8 minutes. Oh my god. 1 minute 41. I do not understand how they do it in 1 minute 41. It's M MetaQuest. This is it could be wrong horses on MetaQuest. In which case, that's very impressive. I thought I was doing well. 11 minutes 9 seconds. I thought I've never done it this well. It's true, I've never have done it that well, but right. Yeah, so one, it's expensive. That's the charging elephant in the room. Two, it has no disk drive. That was another like point of contention. Like, I can't believe it doesn't have a disk drive. But really, in the years of ownership, which is now what, 4 years of owning PlayStation 5, nearly 2 years of PSVR 2 coming up in February. So was it over 3 years of PlayStation 5? I've bought one physical game and I didn't sell it. So I have not made my money back on the disk drive big on it. No, we had Resident Evil. Right, okay. This is why it might save you money. Resident Evil Village. Yeah? My son bought it on PlayStation 4, like second hand. And then you put it in your PlayStation 5 and then it gives you the PSVR version. Right, so you could buy a cheap second-hand PS4 game and play it on the PS5 version in PlayStation VR. So there you might save money. But now it's like 16 quid to buy digitally. So if you, on a timeline, if you wait long enough, all the prices drop to nearly zero anyway. So has it saved money on games? No. Have I watched a lot of media on the drive? No, because I already had a 4K Blu-ray player and I still kind of don't. And now they've got Dolby Atmos on the PlayStation 5. It's possibly worth actually putting discs in the PlayStation 5 to play them, but I don't have the remote for it. So still not doing that much. So I probably should try that now. And again, no 3D Blu-ray on the frigging drive. Why is that still not a thing? Sony, it's your proprietary format Blu-ray. Why is there no 3D Blu-ray support on PlayStation 5? What are you playing at? You got PSVR 2. The ideal medium for watching a 3D movie. And you have no 3D support on PlayStation 5. Why? Hurry up and sort that out. It's too late. It's almost too late now. And I say, there aren't any 3D movies anymore. You can still buy them. You can have a huge library of 3D movies, couldn't you? That you could stream. But you don't do that, do you? You're not doing that for some reason. I probably would pay for that. So yeah, that's not a thing. So So second-hand games, yeah, you could buy your PS4 games and play them. You could play your back catalogue of disc-based games on your PlayStation, so that might be a reason for doing it. I haven't tried like putting PlayStation 1, 2, 3 games in there, but apparently that may be a thing. PlayStation 4 disc games, again, didn't buy that many. Didn't buy that many PlayStation 4 disc games. So again, not a really compelling reason to have the drive. So, and multiplayer games, definitely not a reason to have the drive if you've got more than one PlayStation 5. No, not a good reason. There's no good reason not to buy the digital version of the game if it's multiplayer. And you want to play multiplayer, obviously, Arizona Sunshine 2. If you want to play that multiplayer, which we did, I had to buy it just once, which is great. Yeah. But then it does mean you can't sell it. So swings around the rounds. It's a value proposition, isn't it? But you can always go back to it and play it again. Like maybe someone comes around and you go, oh, have you seen that Arizona Sunshine 2? Do you want to play it with me? Yeah. Or, like Walkabout Mini Golf or whatever, You got your friends over and you go, oh, do you want to play Walkabout Mini Golf? Oh, we have like 4 heads for that now because we've got 2 Quests and 2 PlayStations. So we could, you could play 4-player Walkabout Mini Golf. It's never happened. Yeah. But in my mind, that's important. Right? We've never done that. We've never actually done that. I want to do that as an enthusiast, but getting other people to like do it, well, no. But anyway, I've never done it. But we could. I say it's like, oh, I've got four people could play Star Trek Bridge Crew. We have a Star Trek Bridge Crew party, and we could all play Star Trek. But it never happened. I've never managed to actually get that to happen. But theoretically, I have enough VR headsets and seats to make that possible. But it never happened. But it could. But it don't. But it could. But it never has. So fucking annoying. So annoying. I've got so many licenses for that game. Anyway, right. So the disk drive, yeah, probably shouldn't care about it. It's the real. That's the real. What it really comes down to is probably shouldn't care about it because you don't watch movies on discs much. You don't buy those second-hand games and sell them on. You don't sell your games that you buy because the games that you're so selective about the games that you buy that you're probably going to want to keep them. And then if you're one of those people that preserves those, again, you're not going to freaking sell it. So maybe you do. If you collect discs. By the way, those discs, they're not a good way of preserving games. They're not. Those discs will not be working. Those discs you've carefully stored, they won't be working in 20 years' time. They just won't. One is probably still like DRM associated with the network, right? So provided that isn't the case, which it probably is, the latest version you haven't got installed. So maybe the game will have game-breaking bugs or won't work at all, right? And the media will have degraded and it may not even work. I have DVDs that don't play. So, just warning you now, that legacy media is not the best way of preserving it. It's not. So you need to rip all those things onto your PC, and then do that. You probably need to do that soon. I've already got discs that don't play when they're new. You get halfway through like Lord of the Rings and it skips out. Have you tried that? Yeah. Is that a thing that you've seen? Yeah. So the disc media, I think they recently working on a new, much more high capacity disc. So maybe that removable drive could be replaced by Blu-ray Ultra HD, which has got terabytes of storage on it. So maybe that's the real plan here, that's modular for a reason. That there'll be another push for like 8K, maybe. you know, and there's a reason why your PlayStation can output 8K there at 30, because if a movie is shot at 24 frames per second, 8K 30 could be a thing. Could be. Could be. There's not enough TV sets sold at that level. But anyway. It could be. It could be that that is the plan. That might be why there's a modular drive. Could be. Could be. Just saying. That you know, that later they could add that that modular drive if they want to push that. You know, some proper good proper good English. Some properly good media might be possible. Wow, it's really hard to see these. Gonna have to learn where they are. That's one there, isn't it? No, it's not. That is. Oh wow. Making a real mess of it. That's what people thought Sony was doing, right? Oh my god, I nearly had it. Roll. Not good. Picture's not good. Picture's there. Okay, finally. What's up, pitches? Okay. Right. Yeah. So damn it. Got it. Yeah. Am I going to get one then? Disk drive, probably not essential. Could always get one later. And maybe they'll bring out a different kind of disk drive. Not impossible. Wireless PSVR 2, is that coming? Maybe. Might just been an internal thing. Might have been a mistake. What an idea, though. Would I pay? How much would I pay for that? I don't know, is the answer. I really don't know. 200? Maybe? So yeah, that's a serious consideration. If that's, you know, if the Wi-Fi 7 makes that possible. So yeah, PlayStation 5 Pro. Nothing really for VR yet, in terms of like the PSSR super resolution thing, or like games that are gonna definitely use it. My biggest hope is that games like No Man's Sky, which again I'm not into. I should be into it, shouldn't I? I should be into it. Maybe I should need to go back to that. If I can get that working with the HOTAS, maybe I'll go back to that. I don't know if they put HOTAS support in, like when you're not on the ground. I probably should go back to that game. Because I like space games, it turns out. There's loads of games I should go back to. Sun's getting real low. Damn, I thought I was gonna snick that one in there. That's not happening, is it? 20, 10, 5. Done it. Hey, I got 2 stars. I needed to do it in 8 minutes. I did 8 minutes 17. Oh god, Tiny Moon. What was the pit? Oh, right, this one. Yeah. Do I want it though? Of course. Would I complain if they sent me one? No. They're not going to, obviously. You know, because, you know, my life doesn't work like that. I don't have like 1 million subscribers. Please feel free to subscribe though. I would love that you did that. You know, that would be good. If you wanted to subscribe, I would be happy to receive your subscription. If you're one of the subscribers now, you get 4 videos for free. Uh, I have nearly 1,000 videos on the channel, so that means there's 4 each, pretty much nearly 4 each for the number of subscribers I have. So there, feel free to claim your 4 videos, by putting your flag in the comments of the 4 videos that are your favorites. So go into 4 of my videos and say this one belongs to, and your name, and so be a subscriber. And for that, you've put your flag in that video, and it is forever yours. And that is how we do things here. As I say, we've got like 1,000 videos nearly, and 253 subscribers. So there's nearly 4 each. So if you're quick, you could claim 4 videos and say, yeah, these are my 4 favorites. By commenting on them, that would be great. It doesn't. I'm not doing that purely selfishly for the algorithm reason. No. Those are yours then, because you put your name on them. You say, I am claiming this video as one of the 250 subscribers that currently enjoy the Corporate Zombie channel, and then that becomes yours. Not in terms of like money, not in terms of any money that might generate. It won't generate any. It won't generate any money because I do not have 1,000 subscribers, so it cannot actually generate any money on this channel. So it's all for the love of it, and all for the Patreons, of which there are. You could be the first one. Imagine that, claiming the first Patreon subscription to Corporate Zombie. You could be that person. You could say, take that. No one can take that away from you either. If it's you, you could be the first, and like no one will be able to take that away from you. You will have been that person who got in at the start and was like, oh my god. You know, imagine if you're like the first PewDiePie patron, and you could be like, how's the first person that gave PewDiePie a leg up that is on me, and you're like, that could be you. You could be that. You could be that. You could be that. That could be you. That there, you'd be like, aha, it was me. I did that. I believed in the power of the Corporate Zombie brand, and the inevitable success that will definitely come. Definitely before he dies. It will definitely come. Not that I'm not well or anything. I'm fine at the moment. So yeah, you could be the one that posthumously joins the Corporate Zombie Patreon, and shows their support. Be number 1, literally first. You know that people like to put first on things, don't they? Like, I'm the first one to comment. Cachet. Give me the cachet. Give me the cash instead, and join the Corporate Zombie Patreon, or you could buy me a coffee. You can't be the first person to buy me a coffee on there. I'm afraid my wife got ahead of you there. She is the one and only person to have done that, because no one cares about me like she does. But yeah, you could still be the first patron. She hasn't subscribed to the Patreon. There is some stuff on there. I haven't been compelled to put a load of Patreon only stuff on there. There is some historic Patreon only stuff on there about the green balloon. Those who have known me for a long time will be aware of the green balloon. So if you wanted to know more about the green balloon, then the Patreon is where to find that content. The green balloon was more famous than me at one point, so And I can say that with confidence. So I thought that would be a good idea, but people would want to know the backstory and more about the green balloon. But so far, that has not been the compelling reason that people needed. But maybe they just didn't know. Maybe they just didn't know that was the compelling reason they needed to join the Patreon and support this channel and all this shit that it does. Who knows? Maybe you'll join in at the highest tier, and I'll be making that parody video. You know, I'll be going back to making the parody videos, especially for you. You know, maybe that's your bag, baby, because that is still a Patreon tier where I can make a parody video based on your favorite VR game. If you join at the highest level, that is what you get. And no one took me up on that. No one. So I thought I was giving you the content you wanted, or the content you needed at a price you could afford. A ridiculously low price, to be honest, for the kind of effort that would be required. We're talking like a whole day's work, and I think I put it in at a stupidly low price. But anyway, I used to do that shit. I might go back to doing that at some point. It depends if I stop playing this game. Since it's the addiction at the moment. Very compelling game. I don't know why. Maybe it's a Freudian thing. Putting the thing in the thing. I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying that having a phallic knob at the top of your head that you have to put into a hole is anyway says anything about my psyche at all. I'm sure it doesn't. I'm sure it's perfectly normal. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's definitely some collision issues there. Oh, it's going in. So if it was for this game, for example, you know where it's going to go, right, don't you? Oh god. Is it in yet? Is it in yet? Oh, it is. It is. So, yeah, you know, I got 3 stars for that? Shut off. No. The dev time is 3 minutes. Good God. Scrapyard 2. Could do a bit of that. A tiny mood I'm ignoring. Scrapyard 2. The way forward. So there's one, like, here. Yeah, so I don't know if everyone who is subscribed to the channel, or 250 of you, join the Patreon, then that would be $250 a month, and I could probably afford the PS5 Pro, so I would review it for you. So yeah, because like by November, I would nearly have enough money if everyone stayed subscribed. Or maybe if they joined at the higher tier, that could definitely be a thing. Oh god, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do that. Same finger, different side. Oh, go on. Pitch down. Roll. Got it. Nuke. yeah. So yeah, feel free to join the Patreon, like and subscribe. Um, I hope I'm not too controversial in what I think, in terms of like this new PlayStation. I don't think I am. I try to be sensible. You know, I try to think about whether it's worth doing these things. Can I just bash in? Yeah, maybe. Oh, shoot. Not good. I almost had you. I almost had you. You never had me. Family. Oh my god. What is this? Nothing like Fast and the Furious. What are you on about? What are you on about? Got it. Can't get closer than that. That is pure family, that is. Pure family. It's a stepsister level of family. That interaction there. Okay. Right. The last box, is it? The final box. Ooh. Da-da-da, 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 da-da-da. If you're not convinced to buy this game yet, I don't know what to tell you. It's good. Especially with the HOTAS. Everyone likes a HOTAS. They got the hot. Oh god, is that where I'm supposed to put it? I was just supposed to put it in there. Is that where the others are? No, it's like a derelict ship, right? No, it's not that one. Oh my god, how much ship this? It's there. God, is that going in? I hope so. Go in. Oh wow, this looks good. It looked good. It used to look good. It doesn't look good. That looks good. That doesn't look good. Roll this off. Roll off. Roll this off, and so is pitch. And also your. Ah! You can't just blitz it in always. Did that time though. Wow, 3 stars. Get in. 34th in the whole world. Obviously not as good as the dev, who has done it in 3 minutes 47 seconds. So, wow, well played. So, yeah, what can I tell you? What can I tell you? Still quite excited by the possibility of like the Wi-Fi 7 wireless PSVR 2. That might be a thing. It might be a thing. I mean, they took it down pretty quick, so it must have been, oh shit, we've just perhaps they're waiting for Meta Connect to like try and steal their thunder. It's like, oh yeah, did we mention? You're not the only wireless headset in town no more. Not that they are the only wireless headset in town, because there's Pico, who have body tracking. What's happened there? Why have we not got that? I thought when those mocappy things were developed for like motion capture, that Sony would have gone like, oh yeah, I wonder what we could use those for. But no full body tracking. But maybe with wireless, maybe wireless and Wi-Fi 7. Wi-Fi 7 can have a lot more things connected to it. Maybe those mocappy things, which were tiny little motion trackers, come in a lovely little box. It's so cute. And I thought, oh, is this it? Are we getting like most full body tracking for PlayStation? We don't even have bloody Rec Room, which has legs now, by the way, I think. We don't even have Rec Room on PSVR 2. So, or like, I was going to say chat GPT, I mean VR chat. VR chat isn't a thing either. So, it's odd. It's odd that, these technologies, Sony has all these technologies, but there's no, like, joined up plan for, like, getting them all into the same thing. I don't know why that is. Why is that? You've got like all these techs that Sony has, like proprietary, like 3D Blu-ray and like the good VR headset and the like 4K Blu-ray and all that kind of thing. So you could have had like 4K 3D Blu-ray by now, easily. We could have had that. And then, with OLED HDR headset, making like viewing that an absolute dream. No crosstalk between the two eyes because they're separately rendered. We've never had that. We've got to go to Apple Vision Pro to get that. And all these like proprietary technologies that Sony has, like the mocappy and the OLED VR. I mean, I think Sony's even doing the Apple Vision Pro's micro OLED. So it's like they've got the micro OLED, they've got OLED, they've got the TVs, they've got the mocappy, they've got the movie thing as well. And yet there's no joined up thinking. There's no like 3D theater like app for this. There's no like 3D YouTube app for this. There's no like Sony do cameras as well. Like there's no 3D Sony camera for this. It's like what? I don't understand. You got your PS Pro, but it's not like taking advantage of like the things that Sony have got. It's like it boggles me a bit. It boggles me. Like that they developed the mocappy, right? Who's it for? Oh, it's for we just developed it in-house for like you can easily motion capture your actors for games, and you can easily motion capture your actors for movies. I guess that is who it's aimed at, right? But it's not that expensive. So why is it not in the VR space? Instead of like you looking at my face, you could be looking at like a VR avatar of me. I really thought that was going to be a big thing. Like I keep saying now. I don't know why I keep saying but that sort of Ready Player One look. I said it again. I'm gonna keep like picking up on myself saying that now. Remember, instead of saying remember PlayStation Home on PS3. Remember that? I mean, it was awful, right? But people were expecting them to create a new version of that for VR. You know? I said again. Oh my god. Do I always say that? I probably do. Oh god. I'm gonna become self-conscious. As well as self-aware. I know. The VR AI revolution becomes self-aware. How do you know that though? I think I know that. I think therefore I think I know that. Oh, we're not going to philosophize. Oh, there are other channels for philosophy. But then maybe you get to be in Star Wars. So maybe I'd get to be on Star Wars if I did a whole thing on. I think therefore I know I think I am. I think therefore I'm on Star Wars. I think I'm on Star Wars after it's not cool to be on it. Oh dear. I'm too busy actually piloting spaceships to want to be on like a bad show that doesn't even have any spaceships on it. And let's face it, Star Wars is all about the spaceship. To be honest, I need to go back to Star Wars Squadrons. I didn't play enough of that game. Why not? Why not? That might be the next thing we do. I need to go back to Elite Dangerous. I need to go back to Star Wars Squadrons. I've been rebitten by the space bug, which is the reason I got into VR to begin with. Because Elite Dangerous had a VR mode. Which they've subsequently all but ruined. But anyway, I'm feeling it feels like the devs who created that game at Frontier, like David Braben and all that, the devs, they were super passionate about like making the best game possible, and I think they all left. I don't know what happened, but I think they all left. They tried to turn it into a first person shooter, and they thought, what would be good is if I haven't gone back actually. I might be midlining the game. It might be better now, but they thought it would be good if instead of like taking that part into VR as well, which would be straightforward, that they would have it like you were looking at a flat screen game in your VR headset. I was like, what the actual? And I'm like, at that point I'm out. That and the planetary landings made me very sick, but that was on my old computer, and yeah, they don't bother to optimize as well as they used to. Oh dear. So yeah, obviously if you're playing in VR you need a lot more horsepower, but maybe you don't anymore, not with this like foveated rendering that they're doing. A lot of misdirectional stuff, but also some great stuff that Sony did with that. Okay, are we gonna? Let's go to what is the outer UI? I don't know. Let's quit this level and see how we did. Oh, we didn't quite get the dev. We did it in 59. We need to do it 3 seconds quicker to beat the devs on that one. That's quite fun. Racing around. Milhouse has done it in 31 seconds. Because of course. Because of course. Oh wow, look at that. I'm the employee of the month. Okay, onto the Hall of Fame now. I'm like 54th on the Hall of Fame. Not in the top 10 though. God no, nowhere near. Rollhorse is way ahead of Milhouse, but Milhouse seems to be like, I don't know how that works. Oh, the tiny moon. Is that a race around the tiny moon? Oh my god. Yeah, this could be. We got the gravity of the moon as well. Oh my god, yeah, speed. Fuck. Ah! Oh my god, I made it. Somehow. Just need to get that velocity vector into the hole. That's the actress said to the bishop. It's the physicist said to the actress. She's got to get that velocity vector into the hole. Oh no! 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 Nah! Nah! Oh god! Right. Well, I think this has been entertaining for you. Talking about we were talking about the PlayStation Pro at some point, I believe. Oh shoot! Wow, frame rate. That's yeah, that would be improved by the PlayStation Pro. We didn't talk about PSSR, did we? Did we talk about that a bit? Yeah, I mean, like Nvidia has like their DLSS, so if it's good like that, then that could be game changing in terms of like the fake resolution bump that might produce. Oh dear, yeah, I did that wrong. Let's just restart this. Shit. Oh shit. Let's just restart that. Ah! Okay. So speed beyond that, not really good, not really viable. Oh. Ah, no, the third one is the problem. The fourth one is the problem. The fourth one, I might have to go. Like, okay. Oh god, I already did it. So full throttle. Keep it pointing towards the ground. Ah, wow, this could be make you very ill. This could make you very ill. Okay, keep the nose pointing towards the ground, and then bring that down. Oh my god, I have no idea if we're gonna make it. We didn't. We didn't. We hit it. We hit it. Oh my god, look at that speed. Let's try and control this. Is that making it worse? Reverse spin coming down. Okay. We also have lateral RPMs. There's also some yaw, so we'll get rid of that. Let's get rid of the yaw. Okay, so pitch RPMs need to come down. Let's just try and control this spin. And then once the pitch has been reduced to almost nothing, then we can get rid of the roll. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, and then we've got the problem with gravity. Okay, after that. Oh, we got out of the spin, sort of, but we hit the ground anyway. So, yeah, that was fun. Okay, so pointing it largely at the ground. Oh, shit! I didn't have enough thrust on. Got to come down there. Oh, I didn't make it. Push it forwards. Point it largely at the ground. Bring that down as well. Largely at the ground. Brakes. Brakes. For the third one. Got it. Largely this way. Brakes. Not gonna make it. No. This is a lot of fun. Okay. I think we're good. I think we're good. Yeah, we probably don't want to go much faster than it. Brakes are not the one. I wanted acceleration. I need to get down, so I should have gone forwards. Okay, there we go. Pointing it largely at the ground. Yeah, that's good. Oh, I nearly made it. This is fun. Oh my god. Velocity vector. Yep, there we go. Got to be over there. Yep, that's good. That's good. Velocity vector is good. Bring it there. Yeah, that's good. Good. That's good. No! Oh, it's going so well. Was it though? Yeah, it was. I don't know where the next one is. Oh dear. Yeah. It's going. I made it. I made it, sort of. I kind of made it. Ah! Oh, nearly. Oh my god, I can't see it. I'm upside down. Oh, I hit it. That third one, I think I probably need to brake on it. Oh god, no, I didn't. I needed to accelerate. Damn it, I missed it. So the only thing missing from this game then is space combat. If they added that as well. And a lot more thrust. and less mass. I just can't. Should I go less fast? More, in the more haste, less speed school of thinking. Oh, I still didn't make it. Oh my god. No. Okay. So we should probably, I think we've probably exhausted all the information we currently have on PlayStation 5 Pro. Excited for a possibility of a wireless PSVR 2. Excited for the possibility of PSSR, maybe improving the resolution of some games, but obviously the games themselves would need to add a lot more texture resolution to make it worthwhile. I mean, a game like this probably has a lot left in the tank, as it were. In terms of it could probably look a lot better. because it doesn't really look like a PlayStation 5 graphic or game, but it's really fun. So maybe the extra horsepower of the PlayStation 5 Pro would allow that to be a thing. Oh, I crashed. Damn it. So yeah, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you think, oh, it's just way too expensive and that's the end of it, if that's the only consideration, then let me know. As I say, I have a few more thoughts on it than that because of the convenience of a more powerful PlayStation. You know, could be good, and it could be good for VR, and it might open more possibilities, like the Wi-Fi 7 might open the way for a wireless PlayStation VR 2, or maybe there's a possibility for an upgraded new PlayStation VR in the pipeline. Maybe it's wireless. We have to wait and see what they come up with, and maybe there's room for Sony to have some more joined up thinking with some of the things that they have in their repertoire of stuff they make, like micro OLED displays, like the mocappy motion trackers, all those things. Could be, you know, all put together in one package to give us more compelling experiences. So yeah, some definite possibilities there for some more joined up thinking. So yeah, if Sony want to give me a job, I'll be happy to hear from them. That would be nice. If they want to send me a PlayStation 5 Pro, that would also be good. I would happily look at it and give my opinions on it. And yeah, so that's really it for this video. So all that remains for me to really do is to elegantly end the stream. so let's do that before I make everyone throw up with this game. I pressed brake thinking it's just going to brake, but it also stops all inputs. So as we fly, rotating into space, and let me just end it there then. So all that remains for me to do is elegantly end the stream. Remember, Patreon is available, and so is Buy Me a Coffee, and also feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Remember to comment on the videos and claim your 4 videos. And I'll see you all in the next one. Alright then, as we crash into the moon. Oh shit. Oh no. Right, as we go rotating, crashing, rolling, burning backwards in space. Let me just elegantly end the stream. Which is why I'm going to, as we roll down this hill. Oh my god. Please stop that. Please stop that. Literally going to make me ill. Oh my god. Right, let me just get onto my legs. Right. That's quite cool, actually, the physics of that. It's just rolling down the hill. We just hold the handbrake on to prevent that from happening. Oh no. No, it's no good. It's no good. We need to be in space. Right. Okay. As I completely failed to elegantly end the stream, let me do that now. All right. I'll catch you in the next video. Bye. Bye.